Alright, peace, 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 Justin. Thank you for your patience, and this is going to be part 2 of your reading. Alright, so in this section we are going to be talking about the houses, and we'll also be talking about the aspects. You feel what I'm saying? Alright, so first things first, right, you have your ascendant in Scorpio. And so this means that Mars is your first house ruler. You feel what I'm saying? And so the first house, it deals with the personal life. You feel what I'm saying? It deals like with the me, the self, the I. It's like the department of life that deals with how you get your shit together, technically, because it's your shit. You feel what I'm saying? It's no one else's shit. It's yours. So that's what the first house is. It's that personal life, the personality, you know, all that type of energy. And so with your ascendant being in Scorpio, right? So first things first, Mars rules over Scorpio, and Scorpio is the feminine expression of Mars. And so understand that Mars deals with energy and intensity. You feel me? My bad, not intensity, but more so energy, as Mars signifies how it is you'll go about executing things and how it is that you handle your business when it comes down to it. You feel me? So Mars is all about execution, all about doing things and everything like that. So Aries is the masculine expression of Mars, but then Scorpio is the feminine expression of Mars. And so the difference here is that Aries' expression is outward, and people can observe an Aries, and they can, for instance, see an Aries like evolve and grow and climb like the corporate ladder or whatever it may be. You feel me? Pursue their ambitions. When Aries does it, they don't care, and they allow people to see it. They want people to see it. You know, Aries likes attention. Scorpio is the opposite. You feel me? They're more introverted. They're more interested in working behind the scenes, working mysteriously. You feel what I'm saying? And so, with that being said, you can be a secretive person. You feel what I'm saying? Before I say more, I want to look at your chart though. Yeah, you can be a secretive person, especially your personal life. You feel me? It can be secretive, and as Mars, my bad, not Mars, the Scorpio also deals with like vulnerability, but like the fear of being vulnerable. You know, it's so Mars is the planet of war and aggression and anger and all these things. So Scorpios are wounded. You know, that's typically, usually a Scorpio is wounded. You know, as Scorpio deals with transformation and evolution and growth. You feel what I'm saying? And so with all that being said, you feel me? Yeah, your personal life is a very secretive one. You feel me? You like to keep certain things hidden, and even certain things hidden from like your spouse and from those who are closest to you about yourself. You feel me? I feel like also with the first house in Scorpio, as the first house deals with the persona and the self, you may also need to dive deeper into yourself and explore yourself and learn more about who you are. You feel me? That is specifically your psyche, you know, because Scorpio very much deals with the psyche. It deals with the unseen, you know. And so doing this, right, it's shadow work. But I feel like primarily also with Scorpios, what they need to learn how to do is disperse energy. You feel me? As Scorpio is fixed water, for what I'm saying, because the water is fixed, what happens is it's an accumulation of energy. It's not flowing like Pisces or pushing through like Cancer, you know, but it's fixed and it's stuck. So thus it's important that you and of yourself learn to, you know, recycle your emotions, purge your emotions, release old emotions from the past. You know, and I feel like the past becomes of great relevance as well, because we're dealing with like the Aquarius is a very futuristic sign, but because it's ruled by Saturn, the planet of the past, they're typically polarized between like the future and the past, in the sense that they are futuristic and they focus on the past, but then what happens is their responsibilities weigh them down, for what I'm saying. And I feel like responsibilities is a good segue into further expanding the Scorpio ascendant. See, Scorpio, it rules imprisonment, you feel me? And so Aquarius rules responsibility. So I feel like with the mix of these two energies, you feel me, it's like imprisonment through responsibility, you feel me? But at the end of the day, it's emotional imprisonment. You feel me? That's how Scorpios are imprisoned. They construct a belief system that imprisons them. You feel what I'm saying? As Scorpio very much deals with, like, Pisces more deals with beliefs. Scorpio deals with desire. It deals with wanting things. You feel what I'm saying? And so I feel like even with Scorpios though, before they can have those things that they desire and they want, it's important for them to assess their beliefs, to do that psychoanalysis, you feel me? And dive deep, you feel what I'm saying, into their past and everything like that. Ultimately, with the ascendant being in Scorpio, you know, also this makes you a naturally very magnetic individual. You know, you attract people, you feel me? But like, I feel like with the ascendant being in Scorpio, this can also bring uncomfortability energy towards other people, in the sense that, you see, Scorpio, right, it's raw energy, but more what I'm trying to express is that, like, Scorpio rules sex, right? It deals with sex. And so when you're having sex with someone, right, and you guys are naked and, you know, everything is just there, then it's like they can't hide, you know, they can't hide from you. Like, it's just, they can only come to you as they are. And so, to an extent, right, to an extent. And so that's the same with the Scorpio energy, period, you feel me? They see through people, they know what it is, you feel what I'm saying? And so because of that, people may around a Scorpio feel exposed for whatever reason, and so you know, that can create uncomfortability. But ultimately, with your first house being in Scorpio, first and foremost, it's important for you to tap into, like, what we call psychic senses, you feel me? That is, tap into your intuition, start to depend more on it and utilize it more, you feel me? But also, like, your ability to manifest, you feel me? Like, ultimately, Scorpio is a very occult sign, you know, and it deals with the emotions. So this is more yin energy, more spiritual energy. You feel me? So yeah, all that good stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Alright, so now let's go into the next house. So, actually, no. We're not going to go into the next house. We're going to look at some aspects, you know, between Mars and, so, okay, Mars is ruling your first house. And so what that means, Mars ruling your first house, is Mars has influence about your personal life. You feel what I'm saying? And so you have Mars. Where do you have Mars? Where do you have Mars, bro? You have Mars. If I'm not mistaken, Mars is in Aquarius in the 4th house, okay? So, you know, because Mars is in the 4th house, it's influencing your personal life to be more familial, you know, to be more family orientated. So it's like in this lifetime, you as an individual, you know, your personality, your personal life and everything like that is very much entangled, you feel what I'm saying, with your family. And it's like in this lifetime, that is the channel of self-exploration, you feel me? Through that channel of family, you will further become aware and understand yourself, you feel what I'm saying? But like, you know, furthermore, Aquarius is a sign that deals with higher knowledge. It just deals with knowledge in general, period, you feel me? So maybe helping, like, your family expand their consciousness and their awareness will in turn contribute to your self-realization and actualization, in the sense that, yeah, you know, because it's what Aquarius is all about. It's all about knowledge and information and spreading truth. But furthermore, being like untraditional and going against the grain in the way that you do that, you feel me? In the way that you spread your truth and you spread your message and so on and so forth. Now, you also have, I gotta check real quick. You also have, first things first, you have Mars, you feel me? You have Mars squaring Uranus. So, a square creates a difficulty, you feel me, between like two planets. And in this case, you can think of the planets as chakras as well, you know, because they do deal with how your energies flow. And so you have Mars 27 degrees Aquarius, then you have Uranus 29 degrees Scorpio. So Scorpio and Uranus are two complete different energies. You feel me? In the sense that Scorpio is all about the emotions, about the inner world, about the irrational aspects of, you know, emotion. You feel what I'm saying? And Scorpio also deals with like I feel like I don't need to say more. I feel like that's the best. We'll leave it at that, you know, for what I'm trying to explain here, right? The difference. That's what Scorpio is. It's all emotions. It's all tapped into its passions and like into the psychic realm, you know, as they are very mystical. But then Aquarius is more of a rational sign, right? So that's the first differentiation. Scorpio is irrational. Aquarius is way too rational because it is the scientist. You feel what I'm saying? And so, just from that simple angle alone, you know, they are separated. But then furthermore, or they square each other. But then furthermore, you know, Aquarius is all about the people, and they're public, you know, and they want to do things for humanity, as they tend to be humanitarians. Meanwhile, Scorpios can be the opposite. You know, a Scorpio does deal with crime and trouble. You feel me? And so they're also more introverted and and they deal with the moving in mystery. You feel me? So that's the primary square. So now we have Mars, which deals with your actions, not actions, but your executions. Because the Sun is more like your actions. You feel me? The Sun is more like that energy of like, yo, I love my family. I'm gonna take care of my family, you know, for as long as I'm here. You feel me? Then that's like your actions in a way. You feel me? This is what you're expressing. But then Mars is like you're actually going to get a job, and like, you know, you actually going to get a job, or you're doing things to support for your family. You feel what I'm saying? And so with your Mars being an Aquarius, right, this produces very like humanitarian energy. You feel me? Where it's like, when it comes to your execution and getting up and doing things, you know, you're a sort of person who likes to tap into your network, you feel me, or tap into your information and your knowledge. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I'll leave it at that. You feel me? Yeah. But anyways, so Uranus is a planet that deals with change. You feel me? It deals with change in the physical life. So ultimately, simply put, Mars squaring Uranus, you feel me, this produces this type of energy where it's like, when change is asked to happen, or when change starts to happen, it's difficult for you. You feel me? There's difficulty in the change. In the sense that with Uranus being in Scorpio, a lot of the changes that take place, you know, for you are like internal. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's what Scorpio is. It deals with the internal realm. But then at the same time, Scorpio also deals with like, you know, deaths. So a lot of changes may come through deaths. You know, like someone dies and then like your whole life changes. But then it's difficult for you. So yeah, ultimately that's the energy of like struggling with change. You feel me? External change especially. And it's also another thing is like Scorpio doesn't really like change. Aquarius is all about change, and I feel like that's another way in which they clash. You feel what I'm saying? Like Scorpio wants the familiarity energy, you know, but then Aquarius wants to explore and tap into different energies. So that's the square right there. You feel what I'm saying? Now let's look at so your Mars also is sextiling your Neptune. You feel me? So a sextile is when two planets are in complementary elements. You feel me? So fire and air complement each other. Air and water complement each other. You feel me? And in this case, Mars is in Aquarius, Neptune is in Sagittarius, right? Fire and air. So a square, my bad, not a square, a sextile produces opportunities. You feel what I'm saying? Opportunity energy. And so with you having like Neptune sextiling Mars, right? Neptune, it more deals with the imagination. It more deals with your ability to fantasize, your ability to tap into the spirit world. You know, it deals with like psychic senses and all that other good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so, with all that being said, with you having Neptune and Sagittarius, you feel what I'm saying? This indicates that your imagination is expansive. You know, your imaginative abilities are very expansive. But furthermore, you know, Neptune also deals with the psychic senses, right? And that's also very expansive. And I would definitely recommend you tapping into your psychic energies and abilities. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, no, you know, I'll leave it at that. Okay. And so now with Mars sextiling Neptune, this type of energy produces an energy where it's like Mars, like I said, is execution. When you're going out to execute things and do things and, you know, accomplish your goals, you are able to utilize like your imagination and your creativity to produce like new opportunities for you to like accomplish your goals. You feel what I'm saying? So ultimately, Mars sextiling Neptune produces an individual who has an ability to like benefit and value from their creative energies, benefit and value from their creative energies. Or I think another way I can put it is like your creative energies give you opportunities to accomplish goals. You feel what I'm saying? With Neptune and Sagittarius here. And Neptune, you know, ruling the psychic senses, rather I should say, and then Sagittarius being the seer. I feel like in this placement, you know, your imagination is most likely very vivid. But furthermore, you would tremendously benefit also from doing as I do. My Mars is in Sagittarius though, not my Neptune. But so Sagittarius is a sign, you feel me, that deals with like seeing. So okay, like with your Mars being in Aquarius, when it comes to your actions and your executions, it's important that you are knowledgeable and you're aware of your field of action, what you're about to do. You feel what I'm saying? But then with Neptune being in Sagittarius, you would benefit from visualizing and imagining yourself already having completed and done that action. You feel what I'm saying? And then going out and doing it. You know, and that's another way of utilizing your creativity to further expand your goals, success, and all that other energy. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, anyways, let's go to the next placement. So you also have Mars trine Pluto. Mars trine Pluto. You feel me? Mars trine Pluto and Mars conjunct Mercury. Alright, so with Mars conjunct Mercury, you know, a conjunction is when two planets are in the same sign, and thus they're they're working together. You feel me? It's a collaboration. And so within your chart, Mars, the planet of action and execution, and Mercury, the planet of thought, thinking, and logic, are on the same page. For what I'm saying? And so you're a sort of person who you'll say something and then you'll do it. You feel me? And that's because you also have like your sun is in Aquarius as well. You feel me? So your executions and your ambitions are in alignment with your sun and your Mercury. So this produces an individual who, you know, is powerful in that, like, yeah, honestly, that's what it really is. It's like your thoughts and your actions are on the same page. You feel what I'm saying? And so here, of course, it's like for you to have nice actions, for you to be producing good, I think is a better way to put it. You would value from making sure that you're thinking good. You feel what I'm saying? As your thinking influences your actions, and your actions directly influence your thinking. You feel what I'm saying? And it's not the same with everyone, trust me. Like, you would think like it's not the same with everyone, Not really, you feel me? Like some people, like Mars oppose Mercury, for example. This is when they're in two opposite signs. This person thinks, but then the things that they go out and do are not on the same page as they're thinking. You feel what I'm saying? And this is when it's opposite. But yes, and then you know, the last aspect is Mars trine Pluto. So when a planet is trining another planet, what this means is that these two planets are in the same element. You feel me? They're in the same element. So in this case, your Mars is in Aquarius, and I think your Pluto is in Libra, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like 100% sure it's in Libra. Yeah, it's in Libra. Okay. So yeah, your Mars is in Libra in the 12th house, and then your Sun is in the 4th house. Okay. So you see, Pluto deals with transformation. Pluto also deals with change. Now, Pluto more deals with the intangible change. It more deals with internal transformation. You feel what I'm saying? Internal change. Yeah, you feel me? It more deals with internal change, internal transformation. And so now with your Mars trining your Pluto, this produces, first and foremost, Pluto is also the planet of rebellion as well. Like Uranus deals with rebellion, Mars deals with rebellion, the Sun a little bit deals with rebellion, but Pluto deals with rebellion as well. But like ultimately though, it's ultimately okay. So Pluto is said to be the higher octave of Mars and the Moon. You feel what I'm saying? And so with that being said, Pluto is like intense actions. You feel me? Actions that are going to transform you and change you. And so with your Mars conjunct your Pluto, with your Mars trine your Pluto, it's like you're a sort of person who can go through internal change effortlessly. External change may be a difficulty, but internal change may be easier for you, for what I'm saying. But furthermore, when Neptune and Pluto, not Neptune, but like when Pluto and Mars are in synchronization with one another, you feel me? Because Pluto deals with intense energy and Mars also deals with intense energy. It's like what happens here is, it's all good. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying though, you feel me? Because both of these planets deal with energy. You in of yourself have access to large sums of energy. You feel what I'm saying? That's Pluto, and it's like you can tap into these large sums of energy. And with the trine, usually it's with ease, you know. So yeah, you just have a lot of energy, and you can probably do all types of things. You feel me? You just gotta put your mind to it. And it goes back to what you feel me? And so keep in mind also that Mars is like one chakra, right? And so the way that these aspects are happening is like these different planets are sending their energy to Mars, to your Mars. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like that. These are the energies that your action and your executions are entangled in. But anyways, let's so I also wanted to look at your 6th house real quick, as your 6th house is also ruled by Mars. So with Mars, you know, being with Mars conjuncting the planets, well, with Mars aspecting the planets that it's aspecting, I feel like, and Mars also, you know, ruling over your 6th house. Right here, what I personally see is like creative energy, like not creative energy, but creative work, you know, some sort of work that deals with like engaging your creativity. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm saying that from like Neptune and also Pluto, because Pluto also Pluto more so deals with passion, you know, and it can deal with like artists and things like that. You feel me? As Pluto also deals with the um, revelation of that which, revelation of things that were intense. Like, fuck, how do I put this? Like, kind of like, for example, right? Your whole life you pursued like a career in dancing, but then one day you get into like writing, and you're like, yo, I'm so much better at this than dancing, so then you get into writing. But that's an example of Pluto energy, you know, and that's transformation, if that makes sense. But yeah, you know, so Mars being in the 6th house, Mars also ruling your 6th house, meaning that Aries is in the 6th house. With Aries being in the 6th house, you are best being an entrepreneur, you feel me, working for yourself. And with all this Aquarius energy, you know what I'm saying, of course, servicing humanity is what it's all about, because it's what Aquarius is all about. But like, furthermore, you know, Aquarius is also knowledge and information, you feel me? So I feel like that probably is going to be one way in which you're going to assist people, you feel me? Or you can create a business around your knowledge and your information. But like, your creative energies need to have channels to express as well in your work life, you feel what I'm saying? But ultimately, you know, Mars with 6th house Aries, you know, this is very energetic energy. These are the type of people that don't like being told what to do, but they would rather be telling people what to do, you feel me? So they clash heads, they bump heads with bosses and managers and supervisors, and so they typically find themselves working for themselves, and that's good, you know, because that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, cool. So that's Mars. So next, let's talk about Jupiter. Jupiter, which rules your 2nd and your 5th house. You feel me? So Jupiter, as you know, is the planet of expansion, right? And it deals with growth. It's a benefic planet. Yeah, you know, and it blesses, and whatever energy like Jupiter is involved with, ease and abundance is also associated with this. So you have Jupiter and Libra in the 11th house, so your relationships and your networks, can be blessed, you feel me? God damn, that's crazy. But anyways, so you have your 2nd house in the sign Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, right, deals with expansiveness, right? It's mutable fire. So when you think of mutable fire, think about the heat that comes from like a stove, you feel me? Or the heat in a hot day, you feel what I'm saying? But if I'm not mistaken, Sagittarius also deals with I think melted like melted I was gonna say melted metal, but ultimately it's mutable. My bad. It's mutable fire, not water. And so with your 2nd house being in Sagittarius, this reinstates like the entrepreneurial energy, as the 2nd house is the house that deals with money, you feel me? It deals with value, it deals with possessions. And so with 2nd house in Sagittarius also, the things that you value are likely not going to be tangible or material. These are things that more deal with like the higher mind, you feel me? They more deal with like philosophy, faith, religion, you know, things like that. 2nd house, you know, these are values of Sagittarius 2nd house. And so with this placement also, the more knowledge and information you can accumulate, the more you will feel you have value, you feel what I'm saying? But it's like at the same, but Sagittarius is also a sign because it's associated with Jupiter. It deals with experiences, you feel me? So you may also value experiences, you know, and going through, yeah, just going through experiences, period, you feel me? But yeah, so pretty much like with Jupiter ruling over the 6th house, typically these are sorts of people that their thoughts, even, you know, that their thoughts dealing with money and everything like that, it's not of poverty, but it's of like abundance, you know, of like there will be more, like more money will come, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah, and then like with the Scorpio energy, like once you channel that magnetism energy, then it's like you're set, you're straight, you know, because that's what it's all about in this life. The better you can channel, the better you can like manage your states of consciousness, the more success you will experience in this lifetime. But like, yeah, the 2nd house in Sagittarius, naturally your thoughts concerning money are going to be expansive, you feel what I'm saying? You can see yourself with money, as that's what Sagittarius deals with, seeing, sight, you feel what I'm saying? And I feel like with this energy, it can even be like you may feel like God wants you to have money, maybe because like of your family or whatever, you know. But yeah, I'll leave it at that, you feel what I'm saying? Now, the 5th house. So you have Pisces in the 5th house. So the 5th house deals with offsprings. It deals with the sex life, you feel what I'm saying? It deals with entertainment as well. So first and foremost, with your 5th house being in Pisces, you're a sort of person who, like, you appreciate emotional connection, you feel me, in the intimate act. In the act of sex. But then it's like Scorpio is the same way as well, you know, they appreciate and they want like that connection with their partner, you feel what I'm saying, in the bed. But anyways, with the 5th house in Pisces, this is also type energy where you may be a sort of person who in sex you fully surrender yourself to the other, you feel me? And with Pisces being here, you know, this can even be like you've tapped into like the spiritual aspects of sex, you feel me? In the sense that you know, the Vedics and our ancestors, they knew that sex wasn't just masturbation, in the sense that sex wasn't just utilizing 2 bodies to feel good, right? Masturbation, mutual masturbation, right? That's not what it was. But they knew that when you had sex with another person, the 2 of you would entangle, and through all of the energy that was taking place, you guys would raise your vibration to a higher state, which then you guys would have access to like the spirit realm and everything. And that's why babies can come through, feel me? Because when you're having sex, you're opening up a doorway into the spirit world. You're raising your vibration to the spirit world, right? And when we talk of vibration, understand that it's actually motion, right? That's what it's all about. It's about motion, you feel me? And sex, it's very like active, right? But yeah, so that's like the Pisces energy. But furthermore, like, so Pisces deals with the offspring as well, and with Jupiter ruling over your with Jupiter ruling over your 5th house, it's interesting energy, because I remember that you had your 5th house, my bad, you had well, I think you have Saturn in your 5th house as well. Nah, you don't have Saturn in your 5th house. Alright, cool. Because I would have been, another client of mine had her 5th house in Saturn. And so for her children were, they brought responsibilities to her, you feel what I'm saying? Saturn brings responsibility and heaviness, but then Jupiter lifts up that heaviness, you know, and it allows you to feel this sense of like rejoice, because you know that God has your back, or you know that a higher power. But yeah, you know, so as I was saying, you know, with Jupiter ruling over your 5th house, your offsprings go on to contribute to your life rather than taking away from your life. You know, the contrast between Saturn and okay, I just want to make sure everything's plugged in. But yeah, so the contrast, you know, between Saturn and Jupiter is that Jupiter is all about expansion, you feel me? Then Saturn's all about restriction. So with Jupiter ruling your 5th house, you can enjoy and find joy from your children. You feel what I'm saying? They will in the future be assets rather than liabilities to you. And even till this day, they're probably assets versus liabilities. In the sense that Pisces, it deals with unconditional love. You feel what I'm saying? And surrendering, with your heart to someone. And so, yeah, there's great love between you and your children, and it's genuine and it's authentic, you feel me? And as I'm sure you know, it's not the same with everybody, like, it's not the same with everybody. Some people, yeah, you know this. But anyways, that's the 5th house. So now let's look at, like, Jupiter aspects, you feel what I'm saying? So, you have Jupiter conjunct Saturn. You feel me? Jupiter conjunct Saturn. So with Jupiter conjuncting Saturn, ultimately, Jupiter deals with experiences, your life experiences and everything like that. And then Saturn deals with how you compartmentalize your life experiences. You feel me? Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So with Jupiter conjuncting Saturn, this type of energy, it makes a person who has an ability to work with their past to create something, you feel me, to build something up. But I feel like that's very shallow. It's very shallow, you feel me? But that's one of the expressions of this placement. But I also talked about it on certain, in the first portion, right? What Jupiter conjunct Saturn is all about and how it plays out. But ultimately, like, well, let's also look at what houses. Oh yeah, it's in the 11th house. Okay, so it's simple, bro. So with Jupiter being in the 11th house and in conjunction with Saturn, so Saturn deals with restriction, Jupiter deals with expansion. And the 11th house deals with the arena of life that deals with your networks, your friendships, your associationships and things like that. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah. So with Jupiter conjuncting Saturn, you feel me? I feel like with this energy, it's like a bittersweetness when it comes to the department of life that deals with like associationships and connections. It's like, in the arena of associationships, you will attract Jupiterian individuals, right? People that are generous, people that may have money and all that good stuff. But at the same time, with Saturn being in this house as well, you will also attract Saturnian individuals, people that may come with manipulative reasons, people that may just want to, F you over, you feel me? Because that's what Saturn is all about. It's about selfishness and like manipulation and deception and things like that. Like if you're to attract a Saturnian person. But at the same time, a Saturnian person is a person who's like business orientated and who's willing to do business, and who's about business. That's also Saturn. But so that's the Saturn Jupiter conjunction. So we also have wow, that's it. So just one aspect, you feel me? Saturn. Yeah, that's just one aspect, bro. Saturn conjunct Jupiter. Right now, let's look at your third and fourth house. Now let's look at your third and fourth house. Yeah, now let's look at your third and fourth house. So your third and fourth house are both ruled by the planet Saturn. So the third house is the house of the environment. The fourth house is the house of the home life. You feel what I'm saying? And so your third house is in Aquarius and your fourth house is in Capricorn. So with your fourth house, with your third and your fourth house being ruled by the Saturnian energy, you feel what I'm saying? It is an indication that the conditions surrounding like your childhood, your upbringing type energy wasn't the easiest. You feel me? Because Saturn brings harshness and things like that. You feel what I'm saying? And so there likely wasn't like true emotional connection, you feel me, in the home life. Like odds are your parents probably were there for you feel me, in the sense that they provided you the material and everything like that, but emotionally they may not have been able to show you love, you feel what I'm saying? That's also shown with the moon and Aquarius energy, you feel me? But ultimately, with the Saturn ruling over the 4th house, that is what it indicates. But at the same time, so Saturn deals with construction and building, you feel me? It also deals with time. Everything and anything that Saturn has to offer you comes through time, and it comes through hardship. So with this placement here, it's an indication that eventually you will, or you probably have built like your family, you feel me? Because Saturn also deals with like stability and structure and foundations. So eventually you are going to build your family. But the way that Saturn works is like Saturn will bury you knowing that you're a seed. And you might be scared because, you know, we don't know our totality. We don't know what we're capable of. But then once you start to sprout and everything, then you'll start to understand why you had to be buried. You know what I'm saying? And so Saturn, it takes away the things that it signifies, it expresses, or it's associated with. It takes those away from you, and it makes you experience poverty in those areas. And then Saturn gives, Saturn doesn't give, it makes you earn, you feel me? So your family life and everything like that, you know, and the foundations and the structures which you are presently experiencing are a result of time, of trial and tribulation, you feel me, of hardships and things like that. And so understand that in the department of life, you will be tested, you feel me? There will be hardships, trials, and tribulations. But with Saturn ruling over this, you are asked to like persevere in a sense, you feel what I'm saying? To persevere and to, of course, be grounded in reality as well, but like to persevere and to work through the thick and the thin, technically, you feel me? Is what I'm trying to say. Because Saturn builds something that's stable and strong, something that will pass the test of time, you feel what I'm saying? And so yeah, for you, that's family. For you, building your family is of essential, you feel me? And that's where it's gonna express. But like a lot of the times with the Saturn energy ruling over the 4th house, the childhood is not the best, but then these people go on later to either emulate the childhood or go on to do the opposite of the childhood, because they're like, nah, fuck that, like I'm not gonna put my family through that, so I'm gonna be everything my parents weren't, you feel what I'm saying? Or something of that in tune, something of that nature. So like with Saturn being in the 11th house though, the house of hopes, aspirations, and like dreams also, I don't know, like I wouldn't say, like, so with Saturn being in that house of dreams and hopes and aspirations, like you've always aspired to have a family, you know, you've always aspired to like, I'll leave it at that, aspire to have a family, you feel me? Because that's what Saturn in the 4th house, ruling the 4th house, deals with. But yeah, you know, that's the 3rd and the 4th house, because the 3rd and the 4th house, they deal with very similar energy. So the 4th house deals with the home life, which we have been talking about. The 3rd house deals with the environment, you feel me? So with Aquarius being in the 3rd house and Saturn ruling over the 3rd house, hardships dealing with the environment manifest, you feel me? In life, like maybe especially when you were younger, like maybe you might have went through experiences of homelessness, you feel what I'm saying, where like you were mentally tested by your environment, because that's what Aquarius deals with. It deals with being mentally tested, you feel me, Aquarius. So yeah, you know, but then at the same time, the 3rd house not only deals with the environment, holy shit. Okay, so my bad, I was kind of on the surface, I just went deeper. So the 3rd house, you know, not only deals with the environment, but also deals with the mental space. And then the 4th house not only deals with the home life, but it deals with your heritage, you feel me? It deals with your family, but from a spiritual standpoint as well, like you know, your soul contracts and everything like that. And so with Capricorn being in your 4th house, you feel what I'm saying? You probably, in your family, there are like contracts, you feel what I'm saying? And I don't want to use the word like, and honestly, no, straight up though, these contracts within the family home life can even be negative, you feel what I'm saying? They're not always the most harmonious and the most positive, because we're dealing with Saturn here, you feel what I'm saying? This is just straight up what it is. So yeah, you know, with the 4th house being in Capricorn, contracts are also seen, and what that means is that you and the people that you're associated with are here to use each other for a specific purpose, you know, to attain a specific purpose. And rather than saying use, you know, like work together, you feel what I'm saying? Because like, but Capricorn is it deals with using, you know, it's I use, that's its affirmation, I use, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah, anyways, but yeah, that's that, you feel me? So now let's go into so now let's go into yeah. Now we go into now we're going to talk about Venus, and we're going to talk about the 7th and the 12th house. So mind you, we already talked about the 6th house earlier, you feel me? That was ruled by Mars. So now we're going to skip the 6th house and go into the 7th house. So your 7th house is ruled by Venus, right? And that's lovely, because Venus loves love, you know, because that's, so the 7th house is the department of life that deals with the partnerships. It deals with personal, intimate partnerships. You feel what I'm saying? It doesn't deal with networks or friends, but like people that you're intimately connected with, you know? If you were to develop a relationship with your daughters, you know, like a closeness with them, then there would be 7th house energy, for what I'm saying. Like if you were to have a close relationship with your father, you would be 7th house energy. So it's close relationships, before what I'm saying. And so with the 7th house being ruled by, hold on, give me a sec. With the 7th house being ruled by Venus, and it's in the sign Taurus, with your 7th house being in Taurus, you know, first and foremost, this is an indication that when it comes to partnerships and relationships, you may be materialistically lucky, in the sense that Taurus is all about material possession, and it's all about comfort in the material plane, you feel what I'm saying? And so with all that being said, with your ascendant being in Taurus, with your descendant being in Taurus, your 7th house being in Taurus, you're a type of person that when it comes to relationships, you're willing to like take things slow. You can even be a very like traditionalistic person, taking slow, a traditionalistic individual. But this is like once you're in a relationship with people, with an individual, you know, like the 7th house, because Taurus is also a very committed sign, very loyal, you know, it's fixed earth, you feel what I'm saying? So it's not going anywhere. It's stuck. Fixed earth. And so yeah, you know, those are like the attributes with this placement. Your love partners can be a great asset materially. They can bless and bestow upon you material goods. There is a good sense of stability and security with those you are closest to. You feel me? There's not too much chaos there. Not even any chaos, if I was to say. With your personal intimate relationships, you feel what I'm saying? But Venus ruling over the 7th house also makes you a person who enjoys forming friendships and relationships. Like that's one of the ways you gain pleasure, through friendships, you know, and relationships. But yeah, that's pretty much Taurus. Now you have Libra in the 12th house. So the 12th house is a house of, like the 8th house, the 12th house deals with surrendering as well. And like Scorpio, you feel me? It deals with surrendering. And so you have your 12th house in Libra. So I talked about this already, but it's the same energy here as well. The 12th house, the last house, right? Because it's the last house, it doesn't deal with a person or anything like that. Because it's the last house, you feel me? It deals with ascension, you You feel what I'm saying? Into like a higher power. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So with Libra being here, the sign of marriage and the sign of partners, it indicates that for you, well, it indicates that for you in the department of relationships, not my bad, not the department of relationships, that's the 7th house, but when in your relationships, you feel what I'm saying, you can extract a lot of healing. You can learn more about like God, because that's the 12th house, you feel me? It deals, but it's like, you know how, have you ever been like so tired and just on your knees and like just giving up and surrendered to a higher power? That's the 12th house, you feel me? The 9th house, it deals with your philosophy and everything like that, but the 12th house deals with your connection, your emotional connection, you feel what I'm saying? And so the 12th house being in Libra, it's like in this lifetime, for you to like tap into those higher energies and everything like that, it's important for you to be in a partnership and a relationship, you feel what I'm saying? And this gives me a vibe of what I was talking about earlier with your 12th house. My bad, not your 12th house. But I was talking about earlier with your 5th house, right? Because your 5th house is in Pisces. Pisces is the sign ruled by Jupiter. And Pisces also rules the 12th house, right? It's a 12th sign. And, you know, so that's pretty interesting as well. But yeah, you know, pretty much like that's that energy, you know, with the 7th house, with Venus ruling over your 7th house and your 12th house, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, alright, so next we're gonna talk about an aspect with Venus, you feel me? So in your chart you have Venus squaring. In your chart you have Venus squaring, I'm sorry, I forgot what it was. I think it's Pluto. You have Venus squaring Venus squaring Pluto, you know, Pluto. So earlier we talked about how Pluto is a sign of transformation. It deals with internal transformation. It also deals with intense emotion, you feel what I'm saying? And so with Venus squaring Pluto, difficulties difficulties that deal with like transforming your pleasures, like difficulties manifest there, you feel me? Because Venus deals with your pleasures, how you enjoy yourself and everything like that. But then Pluto deals with you know, transformation, like letting go and getting into new energy type deal, you feel me? Internal change. And so your pleasures, your vices, your habits, and things like that, you know, you may have certain ones that you need to learn to let go of and release, but for you it may be difficult to do that. It may be difficult to transform because you're a sort of person who would rather, you know, dive into like your pleasures rather than transforming and going to that metamorphosis, you feel me? That's like the Pluto Venus conjunction, for what I'm saying. Okay, next so now Mercury, you feel me? You have Mercury. Mercury is ruling your 8th and your 9th house. Before, my bad, yeah, my bad. No, it's the 8th and 11th house. So Mercury rules your 8th and your 11th house, which is interesting because you have. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so Venus is ruling. My bad. Mercury is ruling your 8th and your 11th house. So the 8th house is a house of like. It deals with the resources of the partner, you feel me? But it also deals with death It deals with like mysticism and spirituality and everything like that as well. Yeah, and so that's pretty much what that deals with. And so with Mercury ruling over the 8th house, energies that deal with mysticism and the unknown and everything like that become a relevant subject for you to bring thought energy to, because that's what Mercury is. Mercury deals with how you think and how you process information. And Mercury ruling over the 8th house, this means that Mercury is influencing the house of death, of sex, and of like death, of sex, and of the other partner's money. Sorry, hold on, I gotta think about this. So Venus in the 8th house. With Venus in the 8th house, my bad, with Mercury ruling over the 8th house, death, in a sense, first and foremost, becomes something that you may ponder and think about a lot. But that's because your ascendant is also in Scorpio, right? Which makes sense. Ascendant in Scorpio, you feel what I'm saying? And you also may think a lot about like the resources of your partner, you feel me? Or like, nah bro, nah, that's not correct, that's wrong. Like Venus, like Mercury being in the 8th house maybe may produce energies where it's like you're asked to, hold on, I'm thinking right now. Mercury ruling over the 8th house. Honestly, I think I'm struggling to speak on this because like there's really nothing much to say about the 8th house except that it deals with death. And so Mercury ruling over your 8th house, the house of death, it indicates that your death, and this is just death in general, like how you bring death to things, are intellectual and are mental, you feel me? And death happens mentally before it happens physically for you feel me? And so like maybe you may need to pay attention and watch out for like mental illnesses and diseases, you feel me? Like with Mercury ruling over the 8th house, you feel what I'm saying? Like that may be a red flag to look out for, you feel what I'm saying? I just don't like talking about this house because it deals with death. And I don't want to tell people about their death. Like, I'm good, So there's really not much to say about that house. And I'll be honest, it's a house, right? It's Scorpio, so it's a mysterious house. Scorpio is mysterious. And I'll be honest, I'm still kind of mysterious about the house. So Mercury also rules your 11th house. So with Mercury ruling your 11th house, this makes you a person you become an individual who's very hopeful, you feel what I'm saying? Person who is very hopeful, or you may just analyze your hopes a lot, you know what I'm saying, and be more, you may analyze your hopes a lot. And like with Virgo being in the 11th house, because it's what it is, like maybe you may be a person who questions hopes and things like that, but nah, because Aquarius is also a hopeful sign. The 11th house is ruled by Aquarius actually. Yeah, so with your Mercury being here, because this is also the house of networks and connections, it just reinstates the energy of like socialism and having the ability to make connections with people, you feel me, and friendships, and being diplomatic, and even being like a good salesman is good with 11th house being ruled by Mercury, you feel me? Because with the 11th house being ruled by Mercury, the 11th house, it doesn't become chatty, but it becomes analytical, analyzed, So you may be a sort of person who likes a lot to analyze the department of your life that deals with like your socialness and other people. You may like to analyze that a lot. But yeah, so that's pretty much the Mercury placement. And so now let's look at the aspects. Okay. So first things first, you have Mercury square Uranus, you know, and this can be a difficult one as Mercury, as Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. So when Mercury squares Uranus, you know, difficulty comes about when it comes to changing the way you think, for what I'm saying. And so with this aspect, it's like you have to start to learn how to change the way you think and be okay with mental changes, you know, and not being stuck on just thinking one specific way, you feel me, and not being able to see beyond your perception. You feel what I'm saying? That's like, yeah, so that's like the Mercury 8th house and 9th house energies. My bad, Mercury 8th and 11th house energies. My bad, Mercury square Venus, Mercury square Uranus energy. But then at the same time, you also have Mercury trine your ascendant. So that means Mercury is in a water sign. Yeah, you also have Mercury trine your ascendant, Mr. Justin. So with Mercury trining your ascendant, right? Like I said earlier, the ascendant deals with the first house. And so Mercury trining your ascendant, this makes it easy for you to like think about yourself and like become self-conscientious, you know, kind of be aware of yourself and to an extent like understand yourself or be able to analyze yourself, you feel me? Because that's what Mercury deals with. It deals with processing, breaking things down, learning, and everything like that. And with it trining the ascendant, okay, yeah, this makes you an individual who it's like you got this reading from me, but you're not really unknowing of yourself. Like you know who you are. Like with Mercury ascending your first house, you can spend a shit ton of time just thinking and reflecting and introspecting about your life. You feel what I'm saying? About your personal life and all that other good stuff. But like Mercury is in the 4th house, so like I said earlier, you're entangled with your family. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like in this lifetime, your path of evolution is through your family. You feel what I'm saying? But okay, yeah. So let's look at the next aspect. So the next aspect is no, that's pretty much it. Now we're gonna talk about your moon, which is in the 9th house. You feel me? And so your moon is in the 9th house. Your moon conjuncts your Venus. Your moon conjuncts your Venus. Okay. But in the 9th house. Alright, so first, my bad, I'm all over the place right now. So the 9th house, first thing we're going to discuss is the 9th house, you feel me? So first and foremost, with Mercury being in the 9th house, you need to learn how to like follow and trust your intuition. See, the 9th house is the house of philosophy. It's the house of religion. It's the house that deals with your perceptions, like religious views on life, you feel me? I hope that makes sense. Because yes, like Mercury deals with your perception as well, but so does Jupiter, you feel me? Mercury is like right now, how are you perceiving things? Jupiter is like, what is your perception because of your past life experiences? So Jupiter is like your past life experiences and your wisdom. Meanwhile, Mercury is your knowledge, you feel what I'm saying? But we're talking about the 9th house, and the 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius, the sign that's naturally ruled by Jupiter. And so when the moon and so you have your 9th house in Cancer, so it's like you need, like I said earlier, to learn how to tap internally and listen to your own voice. You feel what I'm saying? Like with this placement here, it's like you're better off following your own faith than following like well, yeah, it can kind of play out two ways, but yeah, like, you know, with this placement, like, intuition becomes of importance, and yeah, just following your intuition, you know. And I feel like also with this placement here in the 9th house, these are individuals who their beliefs very much are maternal, so they believe in taking care of and helping those who can't help themselves, you feel me? They believe in like yeah, I'll leave it at that. They believe in helping others who can't help themselves, you know, and I think that's it. You know, and like being there for them, and yeah, taking care of people. So I feel like with this placement, simply put, these are the type of people that are like, love is my religion. You know, they're very sensitive. Like their religious perceptions are based around their senses, their sensitivity. Like their sympathy and empathy is what primarily builds like their philosophy and their perception on life. You feel me? But their perception and philosophy on life, because it's being ruled by the moon, it can continuously be changing as well. Like one minute you're into this philosophy and religion, next minute you're into that philosophy and religion. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like ultimately it's about following the beat of your own drum. You feel me? But it's like following the beat of your own drum probably will take you through all of these different religions, right? So don't get me wrong, of course, which makes sense. But yeah, that's pretty much like the ninth house energy. You feel what I'm saying? So now let's look at like let's look at the aspects you have. So for instance, you have like your moon trining Jupiter and Saturn. You feel me? Your moon trining both Jupiter and Saturn. So like I said earlier, the moon, you know, it deals with like the emotions. You feel what I'm saying? It deals with the internal realm. It deals with domestic life as well. And so a trine is when two, I already said this, right? A trine is when two or more planets are in the same sign, right? I mean in the same element, not sign, but element. So with your moon trining your Jupiter, you feel me? This makes energy where it's like you're a type of person who can utilize your past. Okay, look, so Jupiter deals with your past experiences, right? Your past, the things that happened to you in the past, and how you accumulated that information and wisdom. The moon deals with your emotions. So with Jupiter trying the moon, you're a type of person who can, through wisdom, like act with your emotions, in the sense that you have an ability to look back at the things that you went through when it comes to the emotions in the emotional arena. I'm sorry, I'm kind of like probably saying some stupid shit, but yeah, you know, that's pretty much the moon trine Jupiter energy. It makes a person who can react and respond to the present moment according to also their past experiences. So they don't make the same mistakes twice, you feel me? With the moon trine Jupiter. And so with the moon trine Saturn as well, you feel me? This energy can play out as a person who can be cold and dry, because Saturn, it deals with boundaries, restrictions, and limitations and things like that, you feel me? And the moon and Saturn, my bad, yeah, the moon and Saturn are opposites, you feel me? Like Saturn rules Capricorn, the moon rules Cancer. Cancer and Capricorn are opposite signs. And so with this trine, you know, first and foremost, the energy of the moon, right, the emotions become like tools for construction, in the sense that a lot of the times people who have their moon trine Saturn, they don't like to just dwell on their emotions just because, you feel me? But it's like when they're going through emotions, they like to channel their emotions into something, you feel what I'm saying? So maybe it's like whatever emotion it is, they like to build something out of that emotion. So that's what Saturn deals with. It deals with construction and building as well, you feel me? Systems, structures, and things like that. So these people like to structurize their emotion, and they don't just want to feel emotions for the sake of emotion. But yeah, you know, so and this can even be like, it's a pretty cool energy, because at the same time with this placement, never mind, it's a trine, so it's not negative. But yeah, you know, so that's the positive attributes. Like you may even be a person who knows how to set boundaries, and you're not afraid to set boundaries like that. Like, you know how to be cold when you need to be, you feel me? Like with the moon trine Saturn, but then at the same time, moon is also trining Jupiter, so you can be, it really depends on, I guess you could say, the person and which aspect they're tapping into, because you are a type of person who is, you can be very expansive towards others, but you can be very restricted towards others as well. can show mad love to another person, but at the same time you can also be restricted and be like, nah, because you're not accessing this energy today, you feel me? And that's like the duality between like Jupiter and Saturn. You happen to have Jupiter and Saturn both conjunct. My bad, both trining your moon. So yeah, that's like that. And so what else is there? Okay, and so you also have your moon squaring your ascendant. So it's like Mercury analyzing. And so we talked about how with your Mercury being conjunct, my bad, not conjunct, but we talked about how like your Mercury trining your Jupiter, your Mercury trining your ascendant makes you a person who can analyze your personal life and learn about yourself through like introspection and thinking, you feel me? But like moon square ascendant, there are certain emotions internally, you feel me, that are disagreeable. Like so the moon also deals with your past experiences, you feel what I'm saying? Your childhood, your upbringing, how you were nurtured and cultivated, you feel me? And so yeah, so with the square, it's like the energies of how you were cultivated and how you were brought up, and the energies of who you are today, how you see yourself, like not how you see yourself, but who you are today as a person, they square each other, you feel what I'm saying? And so there's certain things that like that may be heavy on you or whatever that deal with your past life, you know, like not your past life, but like your childhood, you feel me? Like certain experiences you went through where it's like you're just, but at the same time, like this energy also plays out as like you in a sense having a hard time investing energy into yourself, but being down and okay with investing emotional energy into others, you feel what I'm saying? It may be hard, like self-love may be hard with this placement as well, you feel what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, so it's pretty much like your moon square your ascendant. So the last thing we're going to talk about is your sun. And so you have your sun ruling over your 10th house. So the sun, right, especially deals with like authority, you feel me? It deals with executive energy. So with your sun ruling your 10th house, the house of status, of credit, of honor, and things like that, you feel it, the public house, because this is a house that deals with the public arena. It deals with the aspect of life where credit is due and everything like that, you feel me? With the sun ruling it, and with you having your 10th house in Leo, it's like okay, so Leo is a sign that deals with the identity, it deals with the self, it deals with the I. But Leo's thought trend is I will, you know, so Leos, they like to bring things into existence through their will. You feel what I'm saying? Through their will, yeah, I'll leave it like that. And so, with that being said, the 10th house in fire signs is an energy that deals with being employed, but being the employer, you feel me? So this just reinstates like that energy of being your own boss, being your own entrepreneur, you feel me? But at the same time, with it being in Leo, now I gotta think about this energy real quick. With it being in Leo, 10,000 in Leo, like you're meant to be on, first and foremost, on the stage, one way or another, you feel me? Like Leo deals with the arts as well, you feel me? In a sense, like acting, musicians, you know, things like that. Very much associated with Leo. As Leo, you know, being ruled by the sun, it also deals with creativity, you know, creativeness, and being a creative individual. So I feel like with your 10th house being here, like one way or another, you're going to become recognized for your identity, for who you are, you know. And so with Leo being in the 10th house and the sun ruling over the 10th house, you can create a career revolving around like who you are, you feel me? Like your identity and everything like that. So we talked earlier about like your sun being an Aquarius, right? So really what this is like creating business around information and knowledge, because that's what Aquarius deals with, right? But yeah, you know, I would say that pretty much is like your sun in the 10th house, Leo, right? And so now let's look at the aspects. Let's look at the aspects, man. And Justin, here you are. Alright, so first things first, you have like your sun and moon conjunct each other. This makes you a very vital person, you feel me? It gives you vitalization, as both the moon and Saturn deals with vitality. You know, they deal with that type of energy. And so like with you having that Saturn, like that Saturn conjunct the moon, what people see is what people get, first and foremost. And I think we already talked about this aspect though. What people see is what people get. But at the same time, your internal world and your external world are on the same page, you know, it's a flow. It's like, it's not that something internally is going on and something outwardly is going on, but it's like the things that you experience internally are also extended outwardly, you feel what I'm saying? Whereas some people, like sun-moon opposition, for example, their inner world is completely different from their outer world, you feel me? But with this placement here, now ultimately what people see is what people get. It's also a very creative energy as well, you feel me? And I feel like just like the two planets are vitalized, you know, they vitalize each other, you feel what I'm saying? Because they're sending energy to each other. So like your intuitive abilities are heightened here with this conjunction, but also your ability to be a leader, I feel, are also heightened here, you feel me, with this conjunction with the moon, with the sun and the moon. But anyways, let's continue though. So you also have your sun trine Jupiter and Saturn. So with the sun trining Jupiter and Saturn, you feel what I'm saying, you have an ability to effortlessly and with ease express energies and walk in an energy of like that Jupiterian energy of being generous to someone, being kind to someone, being loving to someone, and nurturing someone, you know, who needs it, and caring for someone, you feel me? But at the same time, because you have that sun aspect, sun trine, yeah, wait, it's a trine, so it's not really a negative. It usually isn't, when it's a trine, it's not really negative, you feel me? So you do have this ability to be generous and kind to others, you feel what I'm saying? Express yourself that way. But then also with Saturn being here, you do have an ability to be cold and dry when you need to be, and build restrictions and limitations, you feel me, and enforce limitations and restrictions, express limitations and restrictions, in the sense that you're the type of person who can get into an uncomfortable conversation when you need to, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, you know, I would say let's look at what else is in there. Okay, so we also have your sun square your ascendant. So with your sun squaring your ascendant, this is like your expressions and your energies of will, of like what the things that you portray to do may not always be in alignment with you, in the sense that the things that you're doing and the energies that you may be pouring outwardly may not always go on to contribute to your personal life and what you want to be doing, you feel me? So like Aquarius, right? So you may be so involved with others, right? Because that's Aquarius, that you neglect yourself, which is Scorpio. But like when I say neglect yourself, like Scorpio is the deeper internal aspects of the self, like the wounded aspects of the self, you know? So with this energy here, it's like you're so busy helping and doing for others that you neglect to do and help for yourself, you feel what I'm saying? Like that can be very much that energy there. But anyways, yeah, you know, so that's pretty much that. That's pretty much that, you feel what I'm saying? And then you have your sun opposing your midheaven. And so with your sun opposing your midheaven, careers, like energies that deal with a career are hard. Like earlier I said, creating a business around yourself, you feel what I'm saying? But now Leo, the energy of self, of identity, because Leo is ruled by the sun, the planet of identity, is opposed by Aquarius, you feel me? And so your sun is in Aquarius, but then your 10th house the midheaven or the house of the career is in Leo. So like your career is asking you to like cultivate certain energies of like leadership and self-awareness and conviction and things like that, and being yourself, you feel me? But then like Aquarius is more like surrendering to the group, you feel me, and compromising to the group and things like that. And so I feel like that's where the square can be, where it's like your career life asks you to like get into energies where you have to be an executive individual, a leader, but then like you're a sort of person who, and it's not that Aquarius is not a leader, it's just that Aquarius is for the people, you feel me? So they want to be with the people. They don't care for leading the people, but they want to be with the people. So that can be problematic, you feel me? And so the opposition here is that you may need to learn how to cultivate yourself, who you are, and everything like that, and cultivate, you know, independence and all that type of energy. And then once you do all that good stuff, bro, get into like entrepreneurship, you know, business that deals with your identity. But yeah, you know, I would pretty much say that concludes your reading part 2, you know. And yeah, I honestly don't have anything else to cover. I legit thought that I was gonna have to do the houses separately and then the aspects separately, so that's why I said that it was gonna be 3 videos, you know, but I was able to do both the aspects and the houses today. So yeah, man, this has been your video, your reading, I mean, and thank you, man. I appreciate your patience and working with me, you feel what I'm saying? And also let me know your thoughts. And so by the way, I'm also studying mental alchemy right now, you know. Once you like mental alchemy, its benefit is that once you know your birth chart, mental alchemy gives you antidotes, you know, to apply, so then you can certain energies can start to flow better. And these mental antidotes are just thoughts, you know, thoughts that you start implementing, thoughts that you start thinking more. And you start thinking more of these thoughts, your life starts to change, is what I'm saying. And that's what mental alchemy is all about. I'm still studying that, but I do hope that, you know, in the future you tap in with me and get that reading. And by the way, I already asked for a review, but you know, that was before I finished this reading. But now that this reading is done, I would appreciate, you know, if you can, you know, do a review for me. And even if you know any friends, you know, of yours who are interested in getting a reading, I'd appreciate, you know, if you can spread the word, you know, through word of mouth, you know, and let them know. But yeah, thank you. Peace.